So the film is performing terrifically well,
Yes.
but going back all the way to when you started on
Yes.
this, I mean, making a film was a pressured thing at any point, but
Yes.
how much more pressured is it when you are following something as beloved as Finding Nemo was?
I guess from the outside in, it is more pressured, but the third film I ever had to work on was Toy Story 2, so all I've ever known is that pressure. So we kind of have a tolerance for just kind of putting our heads down and forgetting the outside world.
Yeah.
And honestly, and just these things are hard, whether they're original or sequels, they take you down. They're so hard to make and they're so hard to get right that they all feel like the same amount of pain, no matter what we're making.
Right. It's like,
to be truthful.
yeah. I mean, there's no place to hide. I mean, there's no excuse when you have 4 years to make something. It's like the story better work, and so you have that pressure of that regardless.
And the story was around for a long time, wasn't it, before you actually decided I read that you had something in your head about what
For about
Dory's
a year
life had
before
been.
we started, yeah. I mean, you were kind of percolating
5
on the
years ago.
problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was the hardest thing to crack in order to make it work as a movie?
Dory. She was built completely to be the ultimate sidekick, not the main character. So not only that, she has short-term memory loss. And we learned the hard way, well into it, that the movie kept not working and you kept not really understanding what was going on with her because she couldn't express how she was changing because she couldn't self-reflect. She didn't remember how she was the last 15 minutes. So it was almost this impossible task.
Yeah,
for a
we
while
had to do
solve.
like this list of things to kind of keep her on track, and one was to kind of go, okay, she's got emotional memory, just not factual memory or specific memory, which was true on the first film too. Like if she loves you, she remembers she loves you. And so there was that, and then there was also just kind of putting her someplace that she had people who knew her from when she was kids, and then having some memories, triggers.
Handcuffing her with somebody who had memory, which was an octopus.
And getting her in and out of places, basically like a jewel thief. I mean, he could, he'd go around everywhere.
All these were hard-earned solutions over the course of about 2.5, 3 years.
Yeah.
And now that the film is out, what kind of reaction are you getting from fans? Are there things that they spot in it and that they react to that you weren't expecting?
I don't know.
I haven't read anything from fans yet. I mean, I've just, because we've been on the road, kind of. I think that I think if anything, the thing that mattered, I feel like the most is that they seem to be really happy that Dory got this film. Like that, I think there was a lot of love for Dory as a character, kind of going into this film, and the fact that it didn't just feel like another adventure for her. It felt like she was actually gifted something at the end of the film. It seems like that is resonating with people.
I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but like the effusive love for Hank is I mean, we thought he was endearing.
Yeah.
But I didn't know he would be so well received in to that level. And I think that's great. I mean, octopuses are so fascinating in and of themselves. They're like escape artists. They're like little jewel thieves, and they can get anywhere and do anything. They can camouflage, and so we always knew he was kind of a fascinating creature. But the fact that it's so universally well received has been interesting.
People always have extremely high expectation of Pixar.
Yeah.
So what's it like on that night before the film is about to be released, when it's finally out in the world? What are your feelings?
Well, after you're done vomiting.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't know. It is. The good news is that it's brief.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like we finish the film and then we have just a second to look up, and all of a sudden it's out into the world. It's not like we hold on to our films for long periods of time with anticipation. So it's almost this weird feeling of like I can't believe we're actually allowed to talk about it, because we don't talk about it it's like the secret.
Yeah.
For so long that we get to talk about finally. So it's this odd feeling that you're kind of excited, but then you've kind of moved on to the next phase of it. So it's hard to kind of process because it takes so long.
And it is a massive success, and it is doing so well.
Yeah.
So I guess the inevitable question is, could we see more? Could we find someone else?
It is possible. Anything is possible.
We all joke that it'd be Finding Andrew.
Yeah, because I've spent 8 years with fish.
He would can't find me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think
Somebody may make it. I don't think it'll be me.
Really?
Well, again, I've spent 8 years with fish. I don't have 8 years, I think, to spare, or for another 4 years to spare to do another fish. Like, I have a lot of other ideas I want to do.
So when you are working on films like this, do you, as soon as while you're working on it, are you working on ideas for what your next film will be, or do you have to focus entirely on this for the entire time?
Well, 4 years is a long time. So the first 2.5 years, yeah, you're pretty like head down, and then the last 2, as other people are helping you make the film and actually produce it, your brain starts to wander, and I'm always sort of dabbling with other things. Yeah.
And you're involved in Toy Story 4, which is...
I was, as far as kicking it off, and now I just sort of come in and advise, you know, but there are much smarter, more talented people that are hammering away on it full time right now.
What's it like when you're watching something that, you know, is such a key film for you, watching someone else take it over?
I'm so used to it.
Yeah.
That's all I've known. Like, again, Toy Story 2 was our 3rd film, and it wasn't me that worked on it until the back end of it. So I'm just used to that handoff.
And all of it, I mean, all of our films are so collective and collaborative
Yeah.
at some level. I mean, we're all working on each other's films at some level, you know, I mean...
So there isn't that much of a territory kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's not as though you don't see it. I mean, it's, you know, we watch our films internally like every 3 months. So it feels like, even though you're not, usually you're making your own, and then you kind of look up and you go over there and you watch their film, and you're relieved that you're either jealous or relieved, depending on where your film is and where that film is.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, thank God I'm past that point of the process, or, oh God, I wish we were in that point of the process. So it's always feels very kind of, you're always looking at like 6 or 7 films at any given time.